We've spent 6 videos exploring the fools of Scripture: the simple fool, the dull fool, the obstinate fool, the scoffer, the godless fool, and paradoxically, the fool for Christ. We've seen our faces in each of them, but now we've come to the 7th figure, the one that the whole story bends towards, the one the prophets longed to see and that the world misread entirely. The 7th fool is not Christ, but the world's misjudgment of him. When Jesus stood before the soldiers, his hands were bound, his face beaten, and a robe thrown over his shoulders in mock royalty. They weren't simply humiliating a man, they were enacting humanity's greatest misunderstanding. They pressed a crown of thorns into his brow as if to say, "Here's your king, you deluded people." They put a reed in his hand, a fake scepter, a parody of authority. They bowed down in sarcastic worship and said, "Hail to the King of the Jews," as if to celebrate some sort of cosmic joke. To them, he was a failure, a fool, a pathetic, powerless Messiah whose kingdom was nothing more than a delusion. This was the moment the world crowned its fool king. But heaven saw something entirely different, because in that very moment, the moment of greatest mockery, the wisdom of God was standing silent before his accusers. The true king was wearing a false robe to clothe us in his righteousness. The true judge was being judged to free us from condemnation. And the author of life was being mocked as a fool to rescue fools like us from the folly that leads to death. The soldiers saw weakness, but the angels saw victory forming. The world saw foolishness, but God was unveiling wisdom older than time. They mocked his kingship, but in their mockery, he was enthroned on a cross and lifted up for all to see. They laughed at his suffering, but his suffering was breaking chains. They called him a fool, but he was saving the world. So hear me clearly. Christ is not the 7th fool. Christ is not foolish. He's not confused. Christ is not weak. He is not mistaken. He is the wisdom of God embodied. He was the Word made flesh. He is the radiance of the Father's glory. The 7th fool is the world's blindness, the tragic inability to recognize the Holy One where he stands before them. And here's the breathtaking irony of it all. The world mocked him as a fool, and in doing so revealed its own folly. Because the cross, the place where foolishness seemed greatest, became the throne of salvation. The shame became glory, the weakness became strength, the mockery became majesty, and the foolishness became the wisdom that will outlast the universe. The one the world treated as a fool is the one before whom every knee will bow. The one mocked as a failed king will return as the King of Kings. The one ridiculed as powerless holds all authority in heaven and on earth. The one the world misjudged will judge the living and the dead. This is the wisdom of God. This is the gospel. This is the 7th moment in the story of fools, not the folly of Christ, but the folly of humanity, colliding with the majesty of the crucified King. And the question God now places before every soul that hears this: whose judgment of Christ will you believe? The world's or heaven's?